Thanks for joining us. I'm Mitchell Ringos. A home on Valley Street has been gutted in an overnight fire yesterday morning. Thunder Bay Fire Rescue responded to the fire in the 200 block of the North Side Street at approximately 3:30 a.m., arriving to find heavy smoke and flame showing from the front and side of the bungalow-styled home. 3 simultaneous attack lines were set up to fight the fire and provide an entry point to search for any trapped victims. However, upon entering the home, it was confirmed there was no one inside, and a family pet was located and rescued during the search. Damage to the home was quite extensive, and the fire remains under investigation. 2 Thunder Bay Police patrol cars remain at the scene. The new playground at Centennial Park has opened earlier than scheduled and was packed with families today wanting to try out the new equipment for the first time. Meanwhile, outdoor pools will be closing their doors for the season. Jessica Clement has the details.
The new Woodland Adventure Playground saw dozens of families come out to Centennial Park for its opening day. The project budget was $700,000 and was designed to fit in with the forested area, with the structures made almost entirely out of wood. Both children and parents had smiles on their faces while exploring the new equipment, and the latter said they were happy to have a new play area for their kids, especially after having to stay inside for the past 2 years.
I think having this facility is great for the kids. Down with COVID, it's great to have this outdoor facility for the kids and see the kids running around and having fun after being stuck indoors for such a long time.
Well, I'm new to the city, so I'm just learning everything about the city, and I'm quite pleased with this park. Nice to be able to see everybody free, able to explore, be close to each other.
The playground is located between the chalet and farm and is bigger than the previous one. Visitors will be able to play on equipment in several different pod areas meant to appeal to a range of ages and features a zip line, climbing structures, and ground-level activities for younger children. We asked some kids at the playground what their favorite part of the park was.
The slide.
The slide? What do you like about the slide?
Because it goes fast. I like the zip line and that slide, and I like everything. I like it zip line in the jungle. I like the fly.
I say the slide and the zip line.
The zip line.
Why do you like the zip line?
Because it goes fast.
The zip line.
And why is it your favorite?
Because it's pretty fast.
And while most kids are excited about the new playground, others are disappointed that another summer staple will be closing their doors soon. Outdoor pools around the city have been packed all summer, but will be closing for the season after this weekend. We spoke to some kids who are getting their last swim in, who told us what they enjoyed most about being at the pool this summer.
You get a lot of activities, and you can get really good activities done here.
Making friends.
Jessica Clement, TBT News.
At Queen's Park this week, Kiiwetinoong MPP Sol Mamakwa demanded that the province commit more resources to help Fly-in First Nation communities upgrade their airport runways that serve as a vital lifeline. But Government House Leader Paul Calandra answered with a broad statement about the overall importance of the North and about the Ring of Fire.
27 First Nations in the far north are air access only. Speaker, these northern airports are lifelines to essential services, policing, groceries, mail, education, healthcare, etc. They use gravel runways, 3,500 feet in length, which may be okay in the 1960s, but this is definitely not okay today.
We understand how important the North is to the economic success of the entire province. It has not, of course, always been the case in the province of Ontario. For many, many years, the North was ignored. You will also know, Mr. Speaker, how important it is when you consider all of the work that the Minister of Mines is doing, the Minister of Northern Development are doing with respect to the Ring of Fire.
That's not the answer I'm looking for. I'm looking for answers regarding the airport. And let me be clear, Ring of Fire will not happen unless you talk to all First Nations.
With staffing shortages around Canada causing problems for hospitals and their workers, Sault Ste. Marie is also feeling the impacts as one doctor warns about physician burnout. Mike McDonald has more.
Dr. Jonathan Delavadova, Chief of Pediatric and Neonatal Services at Sioux Area Hospital, says the city is short-staffed in just about every medical specialty, with obstetrics in particular being at a crisis level. Delavadova, who's just come off a 72-hour on-call shift, says there just isn't enough staff to go around.
We do expect to work long hours when we go into medical school. That's part of the job. We understand that. But we are absolutely short-staffed in medicine. Just like our nursing colleagues, we have vacancies in just about any specialty that you can name, and there are fewer physicians taking care of more patients who are getting older and getting sicker.
The Ontario Nurses Association says its membership is also dealing with long hours and the resulting burnout.
Some nurses are working 16, 18, 24 hours because there is no relief. As nurses are dedicated to their patients and, as well as to our college standards, and we would never, leave our patients or residents and clients in need.
Armstrong says workplace violence is another factor contributing to burnout among healthcare staff. She adds more mental health support is needed for nurses. Dr. Delavadova, meantime, says there's no quick fix for the healthcare system.
I'm encouraged by the addition of a number of spaces at the Northern Ontario Medical School for both medical students and residents. So hopefully help is on the way, but there are no quick fixes. It will take 10 to 15 years to train new physicians. So in the meantime, we're hoping to be able to hold on as long as we can.
Delavadova and Armstrong say it's a sense of duty and professionalism that keeps healthcare staff going. But they also agree the system is not sustainable as it is, and more doctors and nurses are urgently needed. Mike McDonald, CTV News, Sault Ste. Marie.
Concerns of a nuclear disaster in Ukraine are growing. The UN nuclear watchdog confirms shelling knocked out the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant partly offline. Backup systems are working, but as Kevin Gallagher reports, the plant needs electricity to cool the core and avoid a potential meltdown.
Europe's largest nuclear power plant was never designed to be in an active war zone. International Atomic Energy Agency inspectors are now on site and very alarmed.
We have physical integrity of the facility has been violated not once but several times.
The Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant was captured by Russian forces in March, with Ukrainian technicians still running day-to-day operations. This Russian Ministry Defense spokesperson accuses Ukrainian forces of trying to seize the plant last night, endangering the IAEA inspectors. Both Ukraine and Russia continue to blame each other for increasing the chance of a nuclear disaster. Something the United Nations nuclear watchdog warns is very real, reporting diesel-powered generators stabilized the plant after nearby shelling cut power needed to cool the reactors.
This is an extraordinary situation. There is an enormous danger to the people of Ukraine and to the broader global community. A disaster at Zaporizhzhia will release far more radiation than was released at Chernobyl.
The 1986 Chernobyl explosion spread radioactive materials across Europe. The United Nations estimates 4,000 people died of radiation exposure. Today, people living near the Zaporizhzhia power plant fear a similar tragedy, as this school hands out iodine pills, which can prevent the thyroid gland from absorbing radioactive materials in case of a nuclear accident. I'm trying to live day by day, this mother says, to protect myself and my family. The IAEA promises to have 2 inspectors on site, while there are growing calls for the UN to set up a demilitarized zone around the plant, something Russia would likely veto with its Security Council vote. Kevin Gallagher, CTV News, Ottawa.
There's good news for many Northwestern Ontario parents as kids are back to the class this week. For some students in Atikokan, they'll be stepping into a new but familiar setting. Adam Riley explains.
Students from grades 7 to 12 will be the first to experience many of the new amenities at the new Northern Lakes School, built in, from, and around the former Atikokan High School, which when finished will be a K-12 school. The project first kicked off 4 years ago when it was announced by the then Wynne government. Rainy River District School Board Director of Education Heather Campbell says as construction continues, there will be something of a hike for students for the first few weeks of class.
It'll be a little bit of a transition because we've relocated our entrance to the back of the school as we work on some continued demolition of the old building. but within a couple of weeks we'll be back to the front of the school and continuing on with some construction with the hope of completing it sometime early in 2023.
Roughly 80% of the school will be a new build with expanded space for the natural resources programming, gender-neutral washrooms with an open concept sink area, along with several modern amenities geared towards 21st century learning. But Campbell notes some elements of the former Atikokan High will remain, including Grayson Hall, as well as the small gym, which has had an unconventional makeover.
Our architect said he doesn't know of any project where they've raised a gym roof. Yes, it was a very small, younger kids' gym, and they actually raised it so it could be used for competition. A lot of the enhancements, you could say, with having gender-neutral bathrooms for the secondary wing, where it's integrated with the accessible bathroom, really speaks to bringing together a K-12 community.
In addition, Northern Lakes will also feature the Early On program and daycare, allowing students to have a familiar learning setting throughout their school life in Atikokan. Campbell says the school has a capacity of 431 students, and once the remaining K-6 students arrive from nearby North Star Community School, the student body will be 300, so the facility is ready should a population boom hit the community. Adam Riley, TBT News.
And we're now joined by sports anchor Vasilios Bellos. Now, Vasilios, the Camera River Fighting Walleye had a great last season, and they're hoping to carry that over as they're back on the ice.
They were. Teleco Cup action last night. A lot of people in the city excited, including right here in our newsroom, that they're back on the ice. We're going to have that full story after the break.